Oh, we need 'em, we need 'em, we need 'em, we need 'em. What am I talking about? I'm talking about strategies. How about some strategies for living? You ready? You ready for your daily dose of Radio Rehab?
I am ready.
I can hear it in your voice. I can hear it.
Was that dramatic enough?
That's dramatic
I'm
enough.
ready.
Yeah, you're full of drama today. Well, we're going to talk about that. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and she is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
I'm doing pretty well.
So...
Excited to be here with you.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of drama in the world,
Ooh.
all around us.
Have you turned on the news lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I call them your party people.
You do call them up. Yeah, let's tell everybody what you're talking about. I'm a news, I'm not a news junkie, but every
It's
night.
all relative.
Yeah, it is relative. Every evening, I just like to watch the evening news, and I have my news sources. Because I like to balance things.
I understand.
So it's like I listen to one on the right, I listen to one on the left. I try to find one that's in the middle. That's getting harder and harder, and that relates to all the drama, right?
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway, you call them my party people.
Yeah.
So you
party
tend to
people in the house.
Yeah, party people in the house, and so you're hearing the news, and you tend to stay.
That's my cue.
Kind of in your space because you don't like.
He's having his party. I'm gonna go retreat.
But then I am expected. I am expected, and this may be a little drama.
Yeah.
See, I'm expected to do the reporting. See. And so I got in trouble earlier today because we were at lunch and we were talking about something current event wise.
Right.
And you turned to me and you said, "You have not kept me up on these events."
Yes.
And so
we do have our own little drama going.
We have our own little drama.
I will admit.
A lot of people really want to live drama-free lives. They really do. But how do you do it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Specifically, we are going to talk about some behaviors. If you do these things, then you're probably not living with drama. In fact, you are probably living a pretty drama-free life. You may or may not realize that. But, I tell you, the world would be a different place, Lauren.
It would.
It would be.
We do love us some drama as people,
and
don't
we get. It's almost like we are addicted to it. This drama thing. It's all around us, and we're immersed in it. And if we don't have enough of it, we'll make some of it.
I've seen that.
We're going to talk about that today here on Strategies, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Learning RX, Pintail Roofing, and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. Back in a moment. Drama-free life. You want to live it? Well, let's talk about some things you got to do here on Strategies. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with LearningRx Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, LearningRx Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call LearningRx Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does LearningRx Shreveport.
Hey, welcome in. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, PLPC, David McMillan. And thank you for joining us here on Strategies for Living. We're going to talk about living drama-free, or as much as possible that we can do that in this crazy drama-filled world of ours.
Now, when we say drama, we don't mean theatrical air necessarily, do we?
No, we mean, and specifically, Stephen Karpman, Dr. Stephen Karpman.
The triangle.
Called his, and he came up with this a long time ago, back in the 60s, about the time that the transactional analysis movement was really kicking in. I love TA.
Yeah.
The two big books of TA, a lot of people recognize. I'm Okay, You're Okay was one of them. And the other...
Games People Play is one, right?
Yeah, The Games People Play is another. There's another one, I'm blanking on the title right now, but it's got a naked little boy or girl with its arms out at the ocean, right?
Okay.
And
That's very specific.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
I'll think of the title.
Memorable cover.
With a cover like that,
yeah.
that'll get your attention, right?
Pretty dramatic.
But anyway, Stephen Karpman's Drama Triangle, and it's called a lot of things. You can Google this, and you can get a lot of information, and you can Google it under Karpman's Triangle, or you can Google the Drama Triangle, or you can Google the Victims Triangle. Any of those will get you a lot of things. But basically, what it says is that we get caught up at out of our consciousness, right?
Right.
And that we get caught up in the roles of rescuer, victim, and persecutor.
Right.
Oftentimes I'll say there are no such things as victims. And I'm careful to say, try to be careful to say, that doesn't mean bad things don't happen in the world to us from time to time.
Right.
But
it's our choice about how to respond and how to move through that.
Right.
And how that shapes our lives.
Right.
We don't have to remain the victim.
No, we get to decide. But, if you're a victim and you wear that sign, it's kind of like it's a poor me syndrome. It's I'm helpless, I'm needy. A lot of times these folks are complaining all the time. They're whining. They're fretful. They're downtrodden. They're also blaming other people. And all of that. And
because it's certainly not them.
No,
they're the victim.
No, but you can hear the manipulation in there, can't you?
Yes. So conscious or unconscious. It's there.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, again, part of the deal is that a lot of this plays out about this stuff because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. You can't change what you don't know. The other roles are the rescuer. Of course, you got a victim, you got plenty of rescuers, right?
They need somebody to help them.
Yeah. So in this mode, when we shift into this, the person, is not really valuing, or looking at the other person as able to help themselves. They've got to put on the don the superhero costume and cape and run into the rescue. Right. So these people appear self-sacrificing. They are over facilitative. They're over helpful. These folks love to be needed. Right.
A lot of them feel like they need to be needed in order to be validated.
Yes.
In their sense of worth. Even.
And sometimes rescuers are prone to do a little unnecessary meddling every now and again.
Yes. Well, because they always have to feel like they're needed, and therefore, if there's not a problem, they've got to go find one to solve for someone else.
And, of course, there's 1, 2, 3 sides to the triangle.
Right.
So if we've got rescuers and victims, we also have persecutors. And that's the third side of the triangle. And in this mode, the person doesn't value other people's views or see them as integral people in and of themselves. These folks show anger, aggression, judgment, bullying. They're demanding. Sometimes they're spiteful and scornful, right?
Right.
So oftentimes, and it's also, if you Google the victim's trap,
Right.
and that's a great name for this because that's exactly what happens.
Once you're on it, you're trapped.
You get trapped, and so you may be the rescuer and going in to help the hapless victim.
Right. And
but
suddenly
on the triangle, suddenly the victim may shift and become the persecutor, and now it feels like you've shifted down into being the victim. Now I need a rescuer.
Right.
Yeah.
And it sounds so crazy because there's 3 roles, and yet we are able to see it play out in couples.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just run around the triangle in a cycle, shifting roles.
Yeah. There was a very powerful TED Talk. I don't know, you like TED Talks, right?
Yes, love TED Talks.
And David Emerald gave a TED Talk presentation, and he talks about the drama triangle, and specifically, he talks about the way out of it as the empowerment dynamic.
Yes.
And what
love
he
this.
says is that, and he wrote a book that you can get, and in fact, I think it's 10 years old now. But I think the name of the book is The Empowerment Dynamic, I think. But he says, look, we need to recognize how prevalent this is, and then we need to shift. We need to adapt alternative roles for victim, persecutor, and rescuer. So victims are encouraged to become more outcome-oriented as opposed to problem-oriented.
And they can become a creator.
Exactly. And then, a persecutor, from the victim's eyes, let's encourage the quote-unquote victim to not see the person as much of a persecutor as a challenger,
Right.
Hey,
someone who's provoking growth within me.
this can help me grow. And then a rescuer should be encouraged to, instead of becoming, coach. Instead of becoming superhero.
About in sessions with clients is, isn't the rescuer, isn't that a good thing?
And it's okay to help somebody else,
but not at the expense of yourself or the
other person's integrity, because it's valuable for us as people to work out our stuff, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And if you take that away from somebody, if you're constantly doing for a child what the child can do for themselves,
that is the biggest detriment to their self-worth.
There you go.
I mean, because what they're learning is that I can't do it.
Right. And we want them to learn just the opposite of that.
Right.
We want them to learn, you can do this. All right, so that kind of sets the stage for, this drama thing. And, we all know people who attract drama, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like wherever they go.
And, part of that could be that they grew up in that's all they know.
That's all they know,
and that's
right.
familiar. And to them, that's love.
Yep.
Right.
And so, basically.
And it's important, I think, to not appreciate, but to acknowledge and accept that if they don't want to change.
Right.
Right.
You've heard the saying, Lauren, feelings follow behavior,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So if you can start and focus on behaviors, even if you are trapped in the victim's triangle and one of the roles, you can kind of shift out of it through some subtle behaviors, because there are some things, it turns out, that people who have a drama-free life regularly do, right?
Right.
And if we adapt these practices, then we'll cultivate a more drama-free life and therefore a more peaceful existence.
Yes.
So, one of the
Dun-dun-dun.
first things is people who are
Drama-free.
drama-free are gossip-free.
Mm.
You know, in every social circle,
Yeah.
you know, what do we have? We have the rumors. We have the gossip. We have the hearsay. And it's tempting. It's
What are they
tempting
doing?
to
What
Yeah.
what's going on? I mean, that is the easiest thing that people often tend toward. Makes me think of the quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, right? That small minds discuss people,
Yeah.
average minds discuss events,
Yeah.
and large minds discuss ideas, right?
Yeah.
And so this is on the small minds. This
Yeah.
is the easy grabbing.
Yeah.
Is to talk about other people.
Yeah, through the years, and this, I'm probably going to make some people off here.
Okay.
But through the years, it's fascinating. If you want to see this play out, get a group of any type together. Get a little group of therapists together.
Yeah.
Get a little group of priests together.
Get a little group of teachers.
Get a little group of teachers together.
Yeah.
And watch.
Yeah.
Just listen. Just listen for the rumors. Listen for the hearsay. Listen for the gossip.
Give a little, talk a little, give a little, peek a little.
There you go. But here's the deal. The more that we become understanding of this, and we recognize also contributes to creating a toxic environment, right?
Right.
Filled with negativity and mistrust, then we want to shift out of that. So instead of indulging in any of these hearsay or rumors or gossip, what we want to do is we want to focus on positive conversation, constructive conversations. So you don't engage in gossip if you're really drama free. You're more interested in discussing ideas and experiences and what can I learn from somebody else, right?
Right.
And it allows much deeper connections.
Well, and safer and more trustworthy.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely. If you want to live a drama-free life, we'll continue to listen up, because we're talking about what a drama-free life looks like from a behavioral point of view. We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. We've got more to share, more to come, so stay with us. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us. And welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Lauren Leon McMillan, psychotherapist extraordinaire.
You're a little biased.
Yeah, I am. And David McMillan, and appreciate you tuning in, being with us here on Strategies for Living. We're here at this time every day. We try to do healthy, we try to do peace, and that's why we do what we do here on Strategies for Living. We're talking about the behaviors. If you want a drama-free life, what are the things that you engage in? What are the things that you do? Well, we talk about this one, with some regularity, Lauren. Mindfulness.
Absolutely. Because one of the big points of mindfulness is to be aware of what you're thinking and what you're doing, right? And so this is one of the most powerful ways off of that triangle is by being aware of what's going on, that you're on it in the first place.
You mean I gotta tune in?
Yeah, you gotta do that. Just a little bit of thinking. Go inside, see what's going on.
This is tough because, there is so much hustle and bustle, and we get caught up in life. We also get caught up in our own, the whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. We were talking to some young people earlier today about this very thing.
Right.
About the chaos of, and they had some great insight,
Kids are pretty intelligent if you give them the time to explore that with you.
But I tell you, if you want to live the people who live a drama-free life have mastered the art of mindfulness, which is the ability to be fully present without any judgment. Fully present. Mindfulness is being fully present in the moment without judgment.
And when you remove that judgment piece, where does the drama go?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So, I'm going to go back to my example a second ago gather, if I want to have a little fun, right? Gather any group of people, gather teachers, gather ministers, gather priests, gather radio general managers, gather therapists, whatever the group, and then step back and watch, but stay without judgment. Right. Don't get sucked in. You may, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you experience going on,
right?
Just observe it, and that's the key.
Isn't
no
that beautiful?
Judgment. It is beautiful.
Because once you're able to, you practice this by yourself first, right?
Right.
You could do it simultaneously too.
Right.
But when you practice the art by yourself, in terms of allowing your own thoughts and your own emotions and your own sensations to pass through you without judgment, then so too can you watch that out in the world as well.
Right. Now, when you practice mindfulness, and you're not going to face challenge.
No, in fact, it means just the opposite, right? It means that you're going to fully immerse yourself in it and allow it to go all the way through you.
And you're going to be equipped. You're going to be equipped with tools to navigate the situation with a clear mind, a calm heart, and that's going to minimize the unnecessary drama.
Right.
There's a renowned mindfulness teacher. His name is John Kabat dash
that works out.
Zinn. Yeah.
The Zen master.
John Kabat-Zinn.
Okay.
He's written a lot of books. He's a mindfulness teacher. He's an author. And he says this: you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Isn't that wonderful? And that gets it. That really sums it up.
Yes.
So if we're embracing a practice of mindfulness, you learn to ride the waves. You learn to surf with grace and ease rather than getting swept into
into or off your board into the turbulent sea, right?
Absolutely. If you're drama free, one behavior that you demonstrate is you're embracing your own journey. What's the thing that we tend to do?
Well, we focus a lot on everybody else and we'll change them without even looking at,
life. I need this person's money. I need that.
Well, and it reminds me of, what that fella a couple thousand years ago once said, right? You can't remove the stick from your neighbor's eye when you've got a log in yours.
Yeah, there
right?
you go. There you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good paraphrase. Yeah. But anybody who lives a drama-free life understands that comparing ourselves to anyone else, to anybody else, to any other, only can lead to dissatisfaction, self-doubt, and therefore drama. So they focus on embracing their own journey. They focus on removing the log from their eye, and that way they won't focus on the splinter that they see in their brother or sister's eyes. They recognize that every person's path is unique. It's different, every one of us, and it's filled with its own set of challenges, its own triumphs. So, we can celebrate with other people.
Yes.
We can celebrate their growth, their progress. We can actually, and this
instead of the jealousy that I often see in the world, right?
We can also learn from other people's mistakes, vicarious learning, right? And we can continually strive to grow.
Right. And I mean, the important piece to remember in all of this is, even if I live with someone, like David, even because I live with you, I still don't know the full totality and experience of being you within you. Yeah. And I just can't. There's no way for me to know.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why comparison is futile. Yeah. Right? I mean, there's no comparison.
We talk a lot about happiness in the world, don't we? We all want to be happy. But we got to understand that happiness isn't a destination. It's not a place that we go, but it's a byproduct of living a life that is aligned with the things that we value. And when we align our life with our values, drama significantly reduces. It can't help but. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, right? And I don't in America, is rich in comparison to what 3/4 of the world, right?
Yep.
And there I go comparing again.
There is no comparison.
But I mean, I think it's important to be able to recognize that, to see that,
right?
So there is a lot of there's a lot of positives to embracing our own journey. All right, another thing that people that are drama-free do is, and we find ourselves talking a lot about this, Lauren. It's responsibility. They take responsibility for their actions. Yes. There's something called locus of control,
right,
in psychology, and locus of control just simply means am I pointed inward or am I pointed outward?
Yeah, where do you see your control as being?
Right, and perhaps one of the reasons that we have so much drama in the world is because so many people have an external locus of control. In other words, they let the outside determine what goes on the inside. Yeah. So we blame. If we have that external locus of control, we're going to blame circumstances. We're going to blame other people when things don't go the way that we want them to go, right? Yeah. And so it's much easier to, let's face it, the victim thing, that's easy.
Absolutely.
It's much easier to point fingers at somebody else and get on the victim, the victim deal, wear that costume, than to accept our role in a situation.
I've even seen rescuers fall into that trap as well, because in over rescuing, then they feel resentful towards the victim, and then they themselves become the victim.
Happens all the time. So anybody who lives a drama-free life understands the transformative power that is taking full responsibility for your own actions. If you really do this, you don't have time
to work on internally, right?
Yeah.
And, we talk about responsibility often as the ability to respond.
Yep.
Right? And that's all it is. Circumstances may happen around us, and we have this great gift of cognition and awareness that gives us the ability to respond.
Right. People who refuse to blame others know that doing that, blaming others, is only going to make conflict grow. It's only going to perpetuate the conflict. It's going to perpetuate the negativity.
Well, not only that, but it's giving your power away. I mean, again, that's that external locus of control. It's saying that's their fault. Well, then, if it's their fault, then you don't even have any control over being able to fix it or solve the problem.
Right, exactly.
When in reality, we can always solve within us how we respond to any given situation.
So if I take responsibility, then it empowers me. It empowers me to learn from the situation, to grow from the situation, and hopefully I'll make better choices, in the future when similar situations come along, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so, this is very, very powerful stuff. It's the belief that any of these will work, but maybe we double asterisk this one, because if you take responsibility
for
your then
no one else's, for your actions,
that
you
belief
can't control other people's
right,
actions.
and that belief, if you really believe that I cannot control anybody else, but I do have control over my insides. That's really fundamental.
I'm responsible for that.
And I'm responsible. That's fundamental to living a drama-free life. We are talking about the behaviors that are involved if you want to live drama-free. We're talking about it today here on Strategies for Living. So stay with us. More to learn and more to come. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. And welcome back. Thanks for coming back with us here on Strategies for Living. We take growth seriously here on Strategies. And the more we talk about making healthy choices, well, you know what? The more we can do it. And that's why we talk about it so much.
Yes.
Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, here on Strategies, talking about if you want to live a drama-free life, what are the things that you do? Well, let's talk about relationships. You do authentic relationships. That's what you do.
Okay. Yeah.
We live in a digital age, right?
Yes.
And we can get caught up. How many friends do you have? How many friends does this person have? How many followers does that guy have, right? And we get sucked into the vortex, right? But if you live a drama-free life, you understand that relationships, particularly defined by quantity, they are defined by quality.
Yes. Yeah, and to me, when I think of an authentic relationship, that means authentic, meaning that we can both show up truly as we are in each moment fully, right? And if you're used to and stuck on the drama triangle, then that's a role.
Yeah.
That's very much a role that we play with each other. And, while it can be a part of perhaps maybe a personality at some point on the level, you're not reaching the self.
Right. Well, the priority for authentic relationship is really meaningfulness, right? Meaningful connections instead of superficial ones, right?
Yes.
And that's why we value the authentic relationships.
And if you're in the drama triangle with someone like that, it's very difficult to punch through to the depths.
Right.
To get to an authentic relationship.
But, if you know that it's the depth of the relationship that is going to enrich our lives and provide support to one another during tough times and cooperation, so then they're going to, these folks are going to strive to be present. They're going to strive to listen very attentively and show genuine interest. They understand honesty.
Yeah.
And vulnerability
Right.
are the keys to deep connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the trust and the healthiness of, okay, this relationship is ours.
Yes.
And it's not something that we take out into the world and go gossip about.
Right.
That was the first one, and I think that's important to come back around to.
Absolutely. If you want a drama-free life and you're dealing with somebody who is living a drama-free life, what you're going to see is that person, when they do mess up, they're going to embrace it. They embrace failure.
Yeah.
In our society, a lot of times we put a stigma on failure, and we're promoting unknowingly this culture of perfection, and actually just the opposite. We can't grow unless we're willing to fail, right?
Right.
So individuals who live a drama-free life have an understanding failure's not the enemy, but it's a powerful teacher is what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And, each step along the path, it can be a step on the path.
Right.
I mean, you won't know what you won't know unless you try it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. And so when obstacles come up, when they see obstacles, they don't see those obstacles as setbacks.
Right.
They see, and they don't see them as evidence of their own inadequacy, right?
No, right.
What they see is they see those obstacles and setbacks as opportunities to grow and to learn.
Right.
Yeah. And so they realize that the path to achieving their own goals inevitably is going to involve setbacks. So if I'm having setbacks, hey, I'm growing. And I embrace that. I know that. And that's just part of the journey. That's just part of the journey, and that's the way we ride. These folks also prioritize self-care. You see somebody who is drama-free, you're also going to see somebody who's taking care of themselves.
Right.
Because it's not indulgence, it's not selfishness. Taking care of yourself is about caring for your own physical, emotional, and mental health. And spiritual health. And that enables you to show up fully in other relationships with other people and your responsibilities within those relationships.
Yeah, it's interesting. We often romanticize the idea of getting into relationships where, I'll take care of you and you take care of me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in reality, at least in my opinion, the most romantic, but also I think in reality, the healthiest stance we can take is to say, I'm going to take care of me for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you take care of you
For me. There you
and
go.
then we can truly build
I like
something
it.
together.
I like it. Now, if there's a priority of self-care, there's also boundaries. So these folks set boundaries and ensure that they have the time to recharge, to rest, to relax, because they've prioritized their own self-care.
Yeah.
We say this so often, Lauren. We can't give
what
we don't have. So if I want to give you, no matter how bad I want to give you a drink of water, I don't have any water to give you.
You can't, and
No.
you will unconsciously be out there asking for water instead of being able to give.
There
truly.
you go. If you're living a drama-free life, you are about gratitude. It is so easy to focus on what's not going right
Right.
in our lives. But people who lead a drama-free life understand the power of gratitude. You know, one of the things in my prayer life, particularly if I'm praying with a number of people, and it's vocal,
Yes.
I try to start with gratitude. I try to start with, instead of, asking for something, I try to start with, I'm so grateful for.
Right, and it's really truly the most powerful way to practice prayer, because we have shown the power of gratitude, right? Even having gratitude for things that you might not yet appear to have.
Right? Or no matter what we've got so much to be thankful for, and there's a lot of small things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they add up, and that when you truly foster an attitude of gratitude, it radiates, and it attracts more and more and more, and what you appreciates.
There you go. It also reduces negativity, it promotes happiness, and it minimizes the unnecessary drama.
Because you can even be thankful for your failures, right? As long as you see that they're opportunities to grow.
Absolutely.
And that is the power.
So these behaviors that we've been talking about are behaviors of people who live a drama-free life, and this is insightful. It gives us a real insight into how we can navigate our own lives with more peace and greater ease. And don't we all want that? Yeah. We'll be back here on Strategies for Living. Come back with us.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And welcome back into Strategies for Living. So, drama-free folks don't engage in gossip. They practice mindfulness. They embrace their own journey. They take responsibility for their actions. They value authentic relationships. You'll see them embracing failure. They prioritize self-care, and they foster an attitude of gratitude, as Lauren says. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan here on Strategies for Living, where we take growth serious. That's what we do here on Strategies for Living. So what's your takeaway from our drama-free discussion today?
I think it's to remember that, yeah, we are people of the story. And so, we can't help but sometimes get caught up. But the most important takeaway that I take is that, to recognize it, to be aware when we do get caught up, and then to turn it back to me. And I might ask myself, is this what I want to create in the world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how can I better take care of myself that I can create what it is I do want to create? Which for me is peace.
The questions,
truth.
just simple questions,
Yeah.
can lead us where we really need to go, which is where the kingdom is.
Right
What did
within
that
us.
guy say? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Not
within.
out there, not over there, not up there. It is within you,
Yeah.
right?
How can I respond differently?
Yeah. And we can get there just simply. It's the answers are available to us. They're already in us.
Mm-hmm.
We have assurances of that.
Absolutely.
But we got to quest. We got to quest that.
Tune in.
Tune in. That's why we question. Folks, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Strategies for Living. We appreciate you being here with us. We love doing this for you each and every day. And we appreciate our sponsors. Talk about an attitude of gratitude. Well, we're grateful for the Robinson Film Center and for Azalea Cleaners and for Learning RX, for Pintail Roofing, and for the Balanced Life Wellness Center. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? What would you say? And why? Why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.